Hey there everybody, JCM45 here with another action figure review. This time we're taking a look at the NECA 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder. First, let's take a look at his packaging. To start off, we have a nice collector's box with a nice window display here. Some nice art from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie from the 1990s. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles logo, the Nickelodeon logo. And, of course, the GameStop exclusive logo. This is a GameStop exclusive figure. Moving on, we take a look at the side. We have some nice promotional art of Shredder. Looking at the other side, we have some more promotional shots of Shredder. On the bottom, we have just a little bit of legalese and some UPC. On the top, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle logo. And on the back, more promotional shots of Shredder, as well as a bio and some art. Alright, first up we'll take a look at Shredder's accessories. He does include 3 sets of hands. Included on the figure in the packaging is a set of fists, and then we also get a set of grip hands, as well as some splayed out hands. And each left hand does include a nice set of painted blades that are done in a nice silver paint. Those are really nice. I really appreciate that. Moving on, we'll take a look at his black and silver knife here. We have a nice silver blade with a black handle, and that does include a black sheath there. And all you gotta do is slide the knife in, and it is functioning. Next up, we'll take a look at his staff, and that is also done in a nice black and silver. I believe it is a black plastic with silver paint, and that is held in his grip hands quite nicely. Next up, we do have Shredder's face mask, and that is done in a beautiful silver paint, and that does plug directly into Shredder's face to complete his look. And that is awesome. It is really cool that they made it removable. And then finally we have Shredder's cape, and that is done in a nice silver cloth with the black tiger stripes, just like in the movie. And it is a wired cape. It has a nice sturdy feeling wire, and I'm not too afraid of breaking it, and it does hold poses pretty well. So I will show you that here in a little bit, what Shredder looks like with the cape on it. And that does it for the accessories. Next up, we'll take a look at Oroku Saki himself. Starting off, we'll take a look at his head, and he's got a quite nice head sculpt here. He's got nice silver paint all over his helmet, along with a dull chainmail sculpt to fill out the rest of it, and it looks fantastic. NECA really nailed it with the paint and sculpt on this figure. The face mask is removable, as you can see here, to reveal Oroku Saki, the James Saito head sculpt, and I have to say the likeness to James Saito is fantastic. It looks just like him out of the movie, and spot on, NECA, great job. Moving on down, we've got his, let's take off his cape here to kind of get a better look at the rest of the figure. We've got his silver shoulder pads that are nice and silver with a couple different shades there. We also have his purple jumpsuit, which happens to have this nice shiny speckled finish to it that really makes it pop. It looks really great. I'm not quite sure how well that's going to come out on camera, but it looks fantastic. Sculpt work is also really nice. You can see all the wrinkles in there, and I'm not sure, but I think there is a wash in there to help highlight all the material, or all the details. Moving on down to his belt, it is a darker black, and the same kind of, and gray, and it kind of same goes for his gauntlets there as well. They also are sculpted quite nicely. Moving on down to his legs, we got the same continual purple with the silver specks. Moving on down to his shin guards, they are also silver, a couple different shades there with a nice wash to bring out the material, to bring out all the details, and then some black shoes. looks great. And you can see the nice sculpt work on his shoes. You can see he's wearing kind of sandals. Alright, before we go over articulation, I did want to talk about real quick the cape. It is that black and silver material like I mentioned earlier, and it is wired. To attach it to the figure, there's nothing to quite like attach it to. All you have to do is kind of bend the helmet up and kind of wedge it underneath the helmet, and it'll kind of stay in position there for you. And since there isn't anything that connects it here at the top, it doesn't really pose upwards like so. It maybe it kind of does. Looks like you can kind of get some poses there, depending on how you lay it out. But it's kind of, the wire there is definitely there more for just kind of how it drapes over the figure, so you can kind of manipulate it in a way you like it. And I think that looks really cool. The cape is very nicely done. The fact that it's removable, the fact that it's wired, good job, NECA. Okay, let's take a look at articulation. Starting with the head, it's on a ball joint, so it does get the standard ball joint range of movement. He can look up about that far due to the helmet sculpt. He can look down quite far, which is nice. And he's got decent side-to-side tilt. Moving on to the arms and the shoulders, he can move his arm out about that far, and he can kick it or move his arm up about that far without getting with the sculpt getting in the way to prevent it from going a full 360 degrees. He also has a elbow swivel, so that's where the lower arm will move, and then he also has a 90-degree elbow bend. Moving on to the wrist, he's got the pretty standard swivel and hinge system at his wrist, and his wrists are a little tight, so be careful of that. Moving on to his torso, he has no torso articulation, no ab crunch, unfortunately, just to not break up that beautiful sculpt there. He does have a waist swivel. And moving on down to his legs, he does have a bicep swivel, or excuse me, thigh swivel. The one on my right leg, though, is stuck, the thigh swivel, so just be aware that you might have to take hot water to it. The front legs kick out about that far, kick back about that far, spread about that far without me breaking it. I don't want to break this guy, unfortunately. And then his knees kick a little less than 90 degrees to not break up that sculpt. And then finally, he's got a ball with a front-facing pin in the feet. And that's about it for articulation. Okay, let's do some size comparisons. First off, we're definitely going to want to take a look at Shredder with one of the NECA movie turtles. Here's Michelangelo, my personal favorite turtle. Looking fantastic together. Line them up a little bit better. Yeah. They look about right size-wise. Next up, let's look at Shredder's NECA cartoon counterpart. Looks like Toon Shredder's just a little bit smaller and doesn't want to stand up. So there we go. Next up, let's take a look at the SH Figuarts Raphael to see how he compares to the Toon Turtles by Bandai. And then we'll take a look at Black Series Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker. And then SH Figuarts Goku. And then your Marvel Legends Daredevil from the standard Bucky Cap molds. It's just kind of get an impression of what those two would look like together. Then the Mafex John Wick Chapter 2. Then we've got a Power Rangers Lightning Collection Lord Draken. And finally, we've got the McFarlane 7-inch Superman. Come on, stand up. Alright, so that does it for my review of the GameStop exclusive NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 90s Shredder. And I have to say, you guys, this figure is top notch. His articulation may be a little limited, but his beautiful sculpt and paintwork more than make up for it. I haven't had really many QC issues on mine, just the one thigh swivel being a little stuck, which I'm sure some hot water will fix. And overall, I'd have to say this is a must-have for any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collector, or honestly, any really action figure collector in general. The NECA Turtles were received so well that I foresee Shredder and Splinter as well being just as highly in demand. So go ahead and hit up your local GameStops. I happened to walk into mine and find it, so I got lucky there. Hopefully those of you who have pre-ordered it will be getting theirs shipped soon. And anyone else who's out in the wild looking for it, happy hunting. And that's it for this review. Like, comment, and subscribe. Do whatever you guys want to do. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again. Have a good one.